Hi, I'm Glenn Everett, Master of Machines. It's time to review our top 10 American muscle car episodes that we've featured on our channel so far. And you can find the full episode links for each car featured in the video description below. Counting down from number 10. Brian Dowell's Pontiac Trans Am, a model made famous by Burt Reynolds in the movie Smokey and the Bandit.
I get people coming to the service station and say, oh, that must cost a lot to run. I say, I hope so. I was just at the right age when Smokey and the Bandit came out, and it was always going to be a car that I wanted to own.
The whole look and feel of the car is just so unique, isn't it?
It's very 70s, yeah. You could probably have flares on it, it'd still fit in well with the car, but it definitely stands out because you don't see many with that much graphics these days.
Do you feel like you're morphing into Burt Reynolds when you drive it?
I don't think so, no.
Number 9. Jeremy Frencham's spectacular 1969 Mach 1 Mustang. Beautifully restored by his team at Image Classic Cars to award-winning concourse condition.
Well, I'm driving this absolutely spectacular 69 fastback Mach 1 Mustang. Amazing. I've always wondered what it'd be like to drive a brand new equivalent, just like it rolled off the showroom floor back in 1969. Well, guess what? Today I'm finding out. This car is a brand new car from the ground up. Every nut and bolt, rotisserie restored to absolute perfection with all the loving care required. In fact, it would be better than when it was assembled on the production line in mass production back in the day. They had to pump those things out like sausages. You know, the Mach 1 was a very, very successful model year.
Number 8. This brutal 1968 Plymouth Roadrunner from Brian Dowell's collection sports a red-hot 440 power plant.
Brian, this car looks like it means business.
Yep, it's my hot rod, 68 Plymouth Roadrunner. It's got a pretty nice 440 in it, Indy heads. It makes good power, good fun on the street.
It certainly looks the part though, and that hood scoop looks like it's going to devour somebody.
Yeah, that's what you need, intimidation at the lights when you pull up beside the Chevy boys.
They're not going to mess with you when they see that thing hanging off
that's
the
right.
You don't really see that many of them around, do you, the Roadrunners? You see a lot of challenges and what have we, but these are quite rare.
Yeah, in Australia, the Plymouth Roadrunner isn't recognised as much as the Challengers and Chargers and other Chrysler makes, but also a car that doesn't look, in my opinion, as shapely in photos. In person, it's actually a very curvy car, but in photos, they look kind of flat. And I think when people see them in person, they really like them.
Well, it gets my heart racing.
Yeah, me too.
Number 7. Jeremy Frencham's ground-up Camaro build.
We've managed to finish out in the last 6 to 8 months. This one was probably one of the harder builds. We had to do rear quarters, floor pans, trunk panels. Pretty much most of the sheet metal on the car is brand new.
And would I be correct in saying this car was going to start off as a concourse standard build, but you got a little bit carried away?
It was going to be a concourse build to start with, and as I was talking to people and getting more involved in the build, it sort of evolved into more of how I wanted my Camaro to be than a concourse car.
Tell us about the drivetrain, the power plant, this machine.
Currently it has a 350 crate engine in it with a turbo 350 transmission, but as all men do, we're going to pull it and put some more horsepower into it.
Come on, tell us, what's the plan?
Currently we're thinking of going 427.
Oh, that's the magic number, isn't it?
It is, and I'm going to keep the car forever, so I've decided just to up the horsepower to something that I'm going to be quite comfortable with.
Nothing like a 427, mate. It's the pinnacle.
Mate, you can never ever have enough power.
Number 6. Brian Dowell's 440 powered Petty Blue 1970 Plymouth Superbird replica. Not only did this winged warrior turn heads, but it had the power to match.
1970 Plymouth Superbird, what an epic piece of machinery in an epic time. Designed to go racing in NASCAR and dominate on those super speedway tracks. And that they sure did. Effectively, it dates back to the Dodge Daytona, which was a very similar car in format and very similar in appearance. What had actually happened was Richard Petty, the king of NASCAR, actually went to Ford from Plymouth. Now Plymouth thought, we've got to get the king back, we've got to get Richard back, how do we entice him? Let's build a Plymouth like the Dodge Daytona and we'll call it the Superbird. We'll use a similar format and that's what they did.
Number 5. A 1967 GT500 Eleanor Mustang owned by Angelo Rizzo. Another beautiful build by the team at Image Classic Cars with outstanding attention to detail. Its supercharged 347 Windsor packed one mean punch.
So how does it perform? Let's just say, extremely well. And the sound the thing makes too, the growl, the snarl, the exhaust note, that supercharger whine, the induction noise, it's got all the right things happening. It's pressing all the right buttons and ticking all the right boxes. Yep, this is my sort of car. The torque the thing makes from low RPM, 2,500. You just stand on the gas, the thing just pulls and sits you back in the seat. Rev the thing up to around 6,000 to 6,600 RPM and man, is it moving at warp speed. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, baby. Yeah!
Number 4. Rick Saunders' 1970 Plymouth Cuda AAR. Well-known racer Dan Gurney and his company All American Racing teamed up with Plymouth to build a car that could take it to the likes of Chevy's Z28 Camaro and Ford's Boss 302 Mustang in the iconic Trans Am racing series.
They were jam-packed full of goodies, these AARs, an amazing car. All the hot-rodded bits they needed to go racing. In the Trans Am series, you effectively had to run the stock body. It had to look like factory, externally. You also had to use the stock block when it came to engine configuration. Now that was interesting because these engines came out the 340 cubic inch option and the 6-pack carbs. They made about 290 horsepower and ran a mid 14-second quarter mile. Now Chrysler undertook a huge development program for this engine for Trans Am racing. Now they're also using the Dodge Challenger Trans Am as well as the Cuda. Keith Black was the head engine builder at the time, we all know that name. They de-stroked it to something like 303.8 cubic inches to be exact. They redeveloped some special cylinder heads for them, and obviously things like camshaft and what have we were free in the racing configuration. Now I'm told that by the end of the 1970 series, they were making up close to 500 horsepower, and they screamed.
Number 3. Tom Everett's 1969 Z28 Camaro. This car really meant business, using a sledgehammer approach with the original 302 small block Chevy replaced with a genuine factory GM Performance LS7 454 big block.
Now this Z28 is a little bit different to your average deal. It's not as it left the factory. And for all you purists out there, don't get angry. This is the way Tom bought the car from the US. It's had a serious power plant replacement. But you know what? It's a very worthy power plant. It's an LS7 454 factory high performance engine. These engines actually have a label on the rocker cover saying, for off-highway application only, not to be used on public roads. Yeah, right. This engine was a killer. Had forged internals, 4-bolt block, that a huge racing mechanical camshaft. In fact, it was the same that they used in the iconic all-aluminium ZL1427. It had about 12.25 to 12.5 to 1 compression with big dome-style forged pistons. This thing was a serious bit of gear.
Number 2. Joe Collegia's original GT350 Shelby Mustang. This example was concourse restored and a car I just had to drive for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Am I dreaming? I think I'm awake. I'm waiting to wake up. I think this is real. I'm actually driving a genuine 1965 GT350 Shelby Mustang. Wow! Can't believe it. I can't believe it. This car would be an expensive car too, probably $350,000 to $400,000 worth. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm harnessing the moment. Why wouldn't you? Who wouldn't?
And finally, number 1. Another Mopar in the Rick Saunders stable, this black 1968 Dodge Charger, sporting a 440 topped with 6-pack carburation. It was a lifetime dream of mine to drive such an example, made famous by the legendary car chase in the movie Bullet, featuring Steve McQueen in his Mustang and a couple of bad guys in the Dodge in hot pursuit.
Guess what I'm doing? I'm ticking a box I've wanted to tick my entire life. Rick's letting me drive his black 68 Dodge Charger. Can you believe it? I can't think of anything better. It's the epitome of bad. Ever since I watched the movie Bullet, those bad guys in the black Dodge, I've never forgotten it my entire life. In fact, I watched it so many times the old VHS tape broke in the end. All I need now is a black suit, some sweat in the forehead and a worried look on my face looking for Steve McQueen, and I'll be right at home in this car. To film that 9 or 10 minutes of that car chase took something like 3 weeks. And yes, we saw the Dodge Charger and the Mustang of Steve McQueen's getting airborne. Those cars were punished beyond belief. The black Dodge Charger actually lost more hubcaps than it actually even had on it. I'm told that it lost about 5, 6 or 7 hubcaps along the way. Quite amazing.
See the full episode links for each car in the video description below. And be sure to subscribe, like and comment, as your much valued support helps us keep this show on the road.